worried about the audio than anything, but
do y'all want a school bell ring
we
for a sound
appreciate
check?
you. No, thank you.
Damn. Tough crowd.
All right, but yeah, we're good.
Tough crowd, man. You guys are tough.
Yeah, it's gonna stay tough, brother.
Darius, the fun police today. He's shutting it all down,
Hey,
man.
man, somebody gotta keep you in control. You're out of control today. You've had probably you had too much good sleep. Is what it sounds like. You're well rested. I can tell.
Ribs.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can tell.
for sure.
All right, cool. Hello. Welcome to episode 263 of the Super Whipping Podcast, most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius Artist, and as always, got my co-host DC here with me today.
Yes, it's me, DC, aka the Neapolitan Hobgoblin, aka the Cosmic Hot Pocket Smuggler, here to give you that good old gaming news, baby.
Wow.
How y'all feeling?
That was awesome, man.
Today? Yeah, man. You know, somebody got to get these Hot Pockets out because we ain't buying them on Earth. You feel me?
Oh, my goodness. I'm doing good, man. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to everybody in chat, man. If you guys are listening to the audio version of this podcast, like always, we do record this live every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/DariusArtist. Come on by, man. We have a good time, as you can see. And, I mean, it definitely has not been a slow rollout to the year in terms of gaming news, man. There's, you know, even more interesting and fun stuff to talk about today, man. But we hope you guys are doing good. It's good to talk to my bro DC. You know, I hope you had a good week, man. I know it's been probably pretty busy for you at work and everything, but it's good to be here, man. Very exciting.
Yes, indeed, man. It's been a week of responsibilities, you know, getting things done in the grown-up adult sphere of life. We've been adulting all week, so it's time to be childish as hell today as we talk about some of these topics. We're going to have a little bit of fun today, man, even though it's going to be heavy, but it's going to be fun. It's, you know, we're talking about the industry again because the gaming industry, man, is shifting. Like everything else in the world, everything is kind of shifting relatively fast. Like things are moving around in the gaming world. You know, a lot of big decisions are being made. Of course, we saw what happened with Xbox and the leadership over there. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about Sony today with a little smidge of the Xbox. Sony has released a studio, you know, which
shut down a
is a major studio.
Very surprising.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all that. I don't want to jump the gun here, but we're going to get into it.
Nah, man, it's definitely been quite a exciting start to the year, and I figured it would be good to, you know, talk about PlayStation because they've been in the news, but you know, just like you mentioned, like Xbox has just had so much going on, like just at a fundamental level, you know, them changing. Whenever you have leadership changes at any of the big three, I guess you could say, it's always important to talk about it. But yeah, we're at an interesting point with, I feel like, this generation. You know, we've talked about this a couple of times, and despite how long this generation has been going on, it just kind of been, you know, for a lot of people feels like a letdown, or it feels like it never really got its legs under it, you know, especially with COVID and just so many, just like you mentioned, like so many studios closing. And you know, here we are again with Sony completely shutting down Bluepoint Games, the studio that's done a lot of their remaster work. And about 70 people are going to lose their jobs, which is, you know, once again, it's always unfortunate, man, to see, you know, any studio or any, you know, anybody in the industry be on the wrong side of this kind of stuff. But yeah, it continues to happen. So, but yeah, this one, honestly, this caught me by surprise, man. You know, I always felt like Bluepoint was one of those hallmark pillars of Xbox, or not Xbox, of Sony, excuse me, because like I said, they've done the Demon Souls remake, which is what you guys are, if you guys once again are watching the audio version, that's what you see on the screen here. Shadow of the Colossus, and I think Uncharted as well, and I believe they did some work on God of War Ragnarok. So they've done quite a bit for Sony, but I guess, you know, Sony doesn't necessarily believe in remasters anymore. Maybe they're making a pivot, but this was pretty big surprise. This was surprising, man. I don't know how you kind of feel about it, but this was definitely interesting to see them take this pivot.
Well, in business, the thing in business, right? A lot of predictability, or trying to figure out if I'm saying the right word, but like a lot of it is they're trying to predict trends and things that
Hmm.
is going to happen, and they kind of adjust to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it may have been like a situation of like just bad blood or anything.
No,
I think
yeah,
it may just come with where we can save a little money, because maybe, just maybe, they feel like the next couple of quarters may be rough. So they may be trying to just get ahead a few things, because we see companies do it all the time. They'll overhire to let go,
yeah,
and then once things smooth out, they'll hire again. It's like, it's really weird. And unfortunately, people are affected by that, because I mean, the people that you're getting rid of, these people have lives and whatever.
yeah,
So to see this to see this go, maybe they don't plan on giving us too many remakes. Maybe they feel like it's something that they essentially don't need at the moment, and could just be costing them like money that they could be saving or pushing toward other projects. Like, the art of business is just really, really tricky like that. And unfortunately, we all play the game, right? Like, this could be any company. This could be outside of gaming. Like, that's why I always tell like the younger people in my family, friends and stuff like that, you want to make yourself as marketable as possible when you're in these spaces, right? And the thing about these guys and the gaming industry as a whole, luckily, you know, these people go on to do great things. Like, they'll create their own studio, or maybe they'll give us their own indie game that blows up. That's what I always hope for, right? I kind of hope for that bounce back, because hey man, like, being between jobs is just, that shit sucks. We've talked about it a billion times. It sucks. So this move by Sony, I just think it's really, really one of those tough business moves that they had to make. And unfortunately, it just has to happen. Like, it's going to be a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of that in the industry. And just talking about Xbox later on, you'll see like they're taking a gamble. They're I can't wait to talk about it. There are a lot of gambles being made within the industry, and either they're going to like reap major benefits from these gambles, or we may see a lot more things close, man. It's going to be crazy.
yeah. It's so interesting to me that it feels like you just mentioned Xbox and what we're going to talk about later, but it feels like both of these companies are moving in their own direction. And I was looking, I was
Mhm.
just, while you were just talking, I was looking for some of the numbers that I had, but I just really feel like this whole, I'm just ready for this whole PlayStation live service era to be over and done with. You know,
Mhm.
because rumors with Blue Point as well is that they were the ones working on that live service God of War game, which is just crazy. Like, you have a studio that's good at doing remakes, and you try to turn them into a live service studio. I can't say I'm surprised, but I feel like people just don't give Sony enough honest feedback. 'Cause, yeah, they
Mhm.
they make great first party games. They do, they've been doing well for a long time, but I mean, we've talked about the last couple of years how they haven't been releasing games as much as, as far as like first party stuff. And yeah, we'll see a few games this year, but I think this is a tragedy, man. I agree with you. Like, I hope they do bounce back in some form or fashion, but PlayStation seems like they're going back to keeping things close to the vest. The reports of them allegedly not releasing games on PC anymore, which I think is I don't know what to make of that one, man. I don't know about you, how you feel about that,
Oh,
or
I got a lot to say about it.
I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it, because like I said, I feel like it's gonna show us, whatever decision they make is gonna show us what their plans are for the future. Um But yeah, what do you where are
Yeah,
you
because
kind
that
of feeling
hasn't
on
been
that? So
confirmed, right?
no, it's so
We like it's just this
we so
fodder that's going around on the internet, right? Because people are just getting so overexcited and
yeah. Well, the thing is, so the rumor came from Jason Schreier, who is a he's been a very reputable leaker in the past. He wrote a Bloomberg article about this very topic. For those guys who don't know what we're talking about, so he mentioned that he has a contact within Sony and that they're flirting with the idea of no longer releasing games on PC. Um, which I think is I personally think it's a mistake, but they could be looking at it from a point of view of devaluing the console, the PlayStation 5. I think that's a potential reason. Just like you said, right? They're probably looking at ways to kind of tighten the belt, and if it's costing them more money to develop these games or port them over to PC than what they're selling, Sony could definitely look to just be like, hey, you either get on PlayStation or you don't play it, which would be shocking. I mean, like there's a lot to kind of cover with this, but yeah, I want to just hear like your general thoughts about this whole potential. Like I said, nothing has been confirmed, of course, but
money.
you know,
Money is always going to be the bottom line. Money is the bottom line. They're trying to figure out what's the best way for us to make money here, especially considering that all the stuff that Xbox is going through and people were like, we want exclusivity back. That's what they was telling the new CEO lady, right? I drew a blank on her name
Asha Sharma.
already. Asha. Yeah, they were telling her, hey, we want more exclusives, right? So Sony could be taking notes, or here's an interesting theory, right? With the next Xbox coming out, right? Uh, it's a it's essentially going to be a PC. And if Sony porting their games to PC, that means you can play them on an Xbox, right? If the Xbox is going to have Windows and essentially going to be a computer,
In theory, that is
maybe
correct.
Sony,
Yeah.
maybe Sony don't want their games on Xbox. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. So I mean, that's just a fun way to look at it. That's just
Mhm.
a weird little theory I came up with. But also, I just think a lot of thought goes behind this. I don't think Sony does this with malice, right? I don't think Sony just like, we don't want our games on PC. We want them, we just want them on PlayStation. No, I think a lot of thought goes into this. I'm thinking that, like you said, because let's think about all the games that's been ported to PC, right? And some of those games had a lot of issues, right? They
Yeah.
didn't just go on PC and was beautiful. Like they had a lot of issues, like from a technical standpoint, like dropping frames or whatever, games freezing, whatever the case may be. It may be a thing of we just, it wasn't really a good return on investment. Like we put it on PC, maybe we didn't get enough sales to justify it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it could be like a lot of things like, hey, well, we just keep it on Sony because we kind of broke even I wouldn't say they lost sales. Let's just say maybe they put it on PC and it just kind of barely broke even. The juice might not be worth the squeeze in their eyes. So they're just like, well, we'll keep it here from now. But the bigger question is, as these games cost more to produce, we need a solution as to how they'll make their money back and even see a profit. That's the biggest problem we face in the gaming industry right now is a return on investment. People are creating these beautiful games and it's getting to the point where they're starting to barely break even, or they'll sell like over the amount that they wanted to, but the companies are still like, well, we kind of missed the mark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, say if it costs 200 million to make a game, and let's just say when the game sold, it made 250 million to 300 million. The company is looking at that as a loss. Like, it didn't make enough. So, once again, we're at this point of how do we fix this? And I think by Sony keeping their games close to their chest, that's kind of their way of just one step of many of trying to solve this problem. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. It kind of sucks. Because I think games everywhere, like it just helps everyone. Like, I know a lot of people who are excited to play certain PlayStation games on their PC. Like it was a thing. There was a audience for it. But Sony, I don't know, man. Like, because they're not Microsoft, right? Because Microsoft, what I mean by that is Microsoft got like just shit ton of money to throw at their problems.
Yeah.
Sony doesn't have that. So Sony have to play a little smarter, and this is what you're seeing here. And this won't be the end. Like I said, this wasn't even like, it wasn't even confirmed yet. So there still could be a chance that you see something on PC. So we'll be keeping up with this. We'll see where they go with this decision. And of course, we're going to be talking about it later. And I think we're going to get that answer sooner than later. We'll get the answer sooner than later, especially with all this talk about the next gen consoles. We'll know soon.
Yeah, I agree, man. I just did a quick search because I lost the numbers I was looking for, but so these are some of the alleged like numbers or copies sold of some of the games that have been on PC. God of War is sitting at around 4.2 million. Spider-Man sitting at around 2.7. Helldivers 2 did, I think, pretty well, which is a little over 12 million, like 12.7. And Horizon sitting at about 4.5. And, I think it could be a combination of both of those things that you said, man. Like, maybe Sony's looking at this, like, especially with, I remember specifically during that Insomniac leak, that Spider-Man, like internally, they felt like Spider-Man didn't do as well as it should have on PC, and that could be a big red flag for them. I honestly am surprised by how long Spider-Man 2 is because I've been playing it on PlayStation. Like I'll play it maybe a couple nights a week, and maybe they're looking at that like we spent all this time developing this game, this much time and energy into it, and how many players have actually finished this game versus how many actually purchased. And that definitely could be a red flag to them, especially with the increasing cost of consoles. And Sony is actually still selling pretty well. They're selling PlayStations at a pretty decent clip, I would say. But I was just thinking the other day about a PlayStation 5 Pro. Like, why would I purchase that when I have a PC to play on? And if I know you're going to release this game on PC, that could be influencing people's decision to invest into PlayStation, and they don't like that, especially with the opposite strategy that Xbox is taking. And I do agree with you, man. Like, I feel like that people shouldn't be restricted to where they play games, but maybe these companies are feeling like I said, Xbox kind of didn't have a choice in that regard because they've been so behind for so long. They're just trying to, and they've invested so much money into Xbox at this point, or Microsoft has. Maybe they feel like that they can just keep throwing money at it until they fix the problem, which they seems like they're willing to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's when you got that cushion of $1 trillion behind you, is at this point it's somebody's hobby. Like it's somebody in Microsoft has a very expensive hobby, and it's called Xbox. Like that's what it is. So,
yeah,
unfortunately, Sony doesn't have that. Like, so they have to make these like rash decisions of, what, we're gonna pull our exclusives back. Like, nah, we're not doing this. So, and to answer Tori in our audience, it just depends, man. It just depends on where you want to play your games.
yeah,
Like, don't let us, like me and Beezy, because we kind of play on everything.
yeah,
I know, like myself, I have the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and I think it's a thing of convenience because I sit here at my desk, and when I'm finished podding, I could just reach over here, turn on my Xbox or whatever, and play it. Whereas, the PlayStation is in the living room.
yeah.
So, I mean, it just all depends on where you want to play, Tori, and what you want to play, and that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
where do you want to play your games and what do you want to play it on? And I feel like me, I'm just so used to Xbox and the economy of Xbox and everything else because I've had Xbox for so long. It's
Right.
not a bad thing toward PlayStation. It's just I've had all the Xboxes. I've literally had every Xbox, so I'm kind of used to playing on that. And then secondary comes the PlayStation. So yeah, man, don't let it discourage you, dude. You know, you a smart
No,
dude.
yeah, yeah. What we're saying right now definitely isn't. I agree with him to deter people from wanting to invest in. I think that PlayStation is the best console out at the moment to play games on. And the great thing too, let's say if you're a social gamer or you want to play games with us or whomever, like most games nowadays are cross play, cross platform. So you
So you
have
don't have
the
to worry about that.
yeah, so you don't have to worry that, oh man, my friends bought this game on PC. We do crossplay literally all the time. No matter what we're typically playing. So I still, and that's something that we kind of mentioned too. When allegedly, maybe the PlayStation 6 will come out within the next 2 years, right? I think that's still a good bit of value because unlike when we were growing up, most games are cross generation now. So they're gonna release new games. They'll still be available on PlayStation 5. It's still a great console to own. I think this conversation is more, and this is something I wanted to pose to DC too, because he's somebody who works with, brands and brand identity, being a graphic designer in your day job. you know, how do you kind of feel that if you were the head of Sony, right? Like, what would be your rationale in trying to re-strengthen the brand? With everything going on with the rising prices of hardware to, you know, once again potentially pulling that wall garden back up. Pulling the apple is what I'm gonna call it.
Man, I thought about this. I think this what had me up at 5:42 this morning.
Yeah.
I've been up since 5:42, y'all. I'm a little crack baby. But anyway, I was thinking about this all morning and I was thinking that Sony they they got a little lazy. They started to depend on their exclusive games too much, I feel like. And they kind of lost way with the brand.
Yeah.
Because basically, no matter what you do, right? You want instant brand recognition. That means like if someone sees a logo or something, they automatically think of your brand. Like boom. Like you see the logo, oh, that's Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no question about it. Like there's just certain things that you see. Like if you see a swoosh, what you gonna think? Nike immediately.
Nike.
Right. So I think PlayStation got a little lazy in that area, man. I wouldn't even say lazy. Once again, it comes down to money. So I feel like they were just like, our names are names, so we don't have to do too much promotion. And I don't matter of fact, if you want to take the conversation a step further, hell, I think even Xbox and I think I wouldn't say Nintendo though. But that Nintendo, when you see it, I don't know. That little as much as I hate that snap, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
but I feel across the board, like they could be a little more aggressive in their marketing for their hardware as far as like the consoles and stuff go. Because it's like you gotta grow and adjust. The internet is here, social media is here. Like I follow Xbox, I follow all these guys across multiple socials,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like their branding is really strong. Like they're not putting enough out there, especially like with Microsoft. Like y'all got money to play with. It's like, yo, we need to like see more, reach people where they are, right? Everyone's on social media, so I would say start reaching people there. It's crazy because even on IG, when you're scrolling your stories, you get these advertisements, right?
Yep.
Like I don't never see a PlayStation advertisement. I follow PlayStation, and it's weird. Like I never see a PlayStation. Every once in a while, I'll see an Xbox one for something. It's usually a controller. Not gonna lie, it pisses me off because it's usually promoting some kind of new weird color controller, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, but what about your console? Like, so I think you got to reach the people where they are, man. And the internet is where people are. social media is where people are. Like whatever is in, that's where you got to you got to reach these areas so people could start getting that brand recognition and realizing that cuz like let's take somebody who's not into gaming, right? Like my brother, for example,
Yeah.
or just anybody who's just not, they're just real small casual. They know what the Xbox and PlayStation is, but they don't really realize how beautiful the games are. You got to start pushing those images forward. And it's like I don't get that from them. Like they'll create a social media page and Lord knows who's running it, but they don't really put anything out there. They just kind of sitting around just living off the name of their like it's just like, oh, it's PlayStation. Like, I think they need to because look at it like this. You know how much like movies and stuff like they spend on advertising, even
Yeah.
games.
It's
But as
almost
far as
it's
the
almost
system goes,
aloof. It's almost aloof from them. Like they try to pull a Nintendo. I feel like sometimes
I
until
wonder if
you
it's
know.
because they spend so much advertisement on games that they don't feel like they have to spend it on the title. Because like, and what I mean by that is because they spend so much advertisement on these games, and then at the bottom it'll say PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever the game is coming to.
Sure.
And I guess like, do they figure that like, that's all they need? Because if so, I don't think so. And then you got to think about the parents who are buying these kids consoles. Where are we
Yeah,
reaching
I
out for
mean that's
them at?
true.
Like,
It's very well they could be. PlayStation has been in the league so long at this point that maybe it's just an assumption on their part. That people will know to buy a PlayStation over an Xbox at this point. There's
mhm.
that because we can pretty much agree, and we've talked about it too. That there's really no turning this generation around. It's pretty much over. PlayStation has most of the market share, followed by Switch, which could potentially raise their prices, which is very interesting.
Hey
But
man, when it comes to parents, I got one for you. Hey man, bring back game mascots. Fuck it. Let's
yeah,
take it
no, no,
back to the
no.
early
I'm
2000s.
telling
Fuck
you,
it.
man, we need the
Let's
fun back
bring back
in. Yeah,
Sonic, bro. Let's bring back the game console mascots, bro.
the video game
Halo.
commercials. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like let's bring that back. Mario for Nintendo, which they kind of do, right?
Yeah,
Well, Nintendo wise, like, yeah, let's bring back these gamer mascots or something for the parents. Like maybe, you sit up there, put some plugs in definitely on TV apps. I never see them. Like
I
I
think that'd
have
be
all these
cool.
apps, and you know how look, now if you a cheap motherfucker like me, all my apps come with commercials, okay? I be running ads. Like all my Hulu, everything got commercials on it because I get the bare minimum.
There's
Hey,
nothing
throw
wrong with
some
that. There's nothing wrong
Nintendo,
with that, man. Yeah,
bro. Hey, throw some Xbox commercials in there, bro. Now, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they do, but I never see them. Like, when you go to pause, look, when you got the cheap Netflix, when you pause it, they gonna show you a commercial. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, title
or
card or
no,
something.
matter of
Yeah,
fact, Paramount Plus.
yeah.
When you pause it, there's an advertisement for something there. It's either a car, it's some soap, it's some deodorant, it's something's being advertised when your screen is paused.
Yeah.
Xbox, get in there, get some promo, reach people where they are. Like everybody who don't have apps, Darius, who don't have streaming apps. You know what I'm saying? Put your shit on some of these streaming apps and start getting creative, man. Reach people where they at and stop kind of just depending on you. You're not Marlo. Your name's not your name. You got to spread that shit around. Like, especially when it comes like to older people and parents. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of want to reach that demo because how many times, a kid opened up their Christmas present and it's not the console that they wanted. Like their parents just go, it's an open market for you to get some of that money. Because parents go buy some shit, they just go in there like,
I mean,
oh,
shoot,
this play
man.
games?
That's an even bigger hurdle too, especially nowadays with kids being able to play games on tablets or their phones. How do they
Hmm.
how do they capture that young audience? How do you make a kid want your PlayStation or your Xbox or the Switch? I guess could be a little bit easier because parents typically buy it for themselves. But how does Sony get back to convincing the next up and coming generation of kids or young adults to purchase their console? I think that's going to be an interesting question for them and Xbox. I mean, we just got the announcement of the code name for the next Xbox, which is called Project Helix from Asha Sharman this past week. And I'll say that was a lot quicker than I was expecting. I wasn't thinking we were going to hear anything about this next Xbox until
Whoa, I got
the summer showcase. But honestly, I feel like Xbox is trying to start the next era of
And let me tell you,
of Xbox essentially, which is it could be pretty interesting. I mean, like we talked about it last week or the week before. It's like, what are they going to do to make people want this piece of hardware? They have an uphill battle to get through, and allegedly not even allegedly, it's been confirmed by the new CEO Asha that this is going to play PC and Xbox games, like DC said. Which could be an interesting turn, and it could be an interesting premise for next gen. Like I said, it seems like both Sony and Xbox are going in completely different directions, man. What do you think about the new console? As somebody who, you've pretty much purchased into the Xbox's ecosystem since they've been around, man. So are you excited about the new console, which could allegedly come out next year?
Asha. You are a real hoot, girl. Woo! I'm always going to be excited for gaming news or wherever this news takes us, right? It's always exciting to see where this is going to go. And just like Sarah Bond jumped out the window and took a chance with the play everywhere motto, yet again, we have, and I want people to take notes of this for, I don't want to wish bad on her, but let's just say if this big whatever she has going on, if it fails, right? Because she's essentially betting, she's putting all the chips on this, just like Sarah Bond did with what she thought what her vision was with Xbox, right? She is taking a gamble on the PC model here. She's definitely taking a gamble with the direction in which the Xbox is taking. If it becomes, more of a PC, but jumping into the world of PC is such a gamble, because what is this machine really going to be? Like, is it going to be a cheaper alternative to the now expensive as hell computers? If so, do we get multiple consoles like we've talked about before? Will you get an entry level PC Xbox with the bare minimum specs to play games, or and then on the other end we have the high tier 590 super Xbox computer that's going to be like $3,800 or something? Like, she's jumping into a space that's going to be tough for them. But I mean, it's a gamble, right? It could win. She could do good. I mean, the Xbox can sell, or I mean, it can flop, and then we can see some questions being asked. But she's taking a gamble here, and my personal opinion on this is the PC space is really kind of tight right now. Because I feel like if you make your Xbox essentially a PC, people are going to look at it like this: why don't I just get a PC? That's how people are going to think, because people already been saying that with the Steam machine, right? It was like, this is a cool product, but I feel like I should just maybe spend $1,000 more and just get a better PC. So she's gonna Xbox in that direction. It's gonna be very interesting to see. But she's taking a gamble, and if the gamble pays off, like I said, you get all the hand claps, you get all the praises. Oh, Asha's the best. Oh, blah blah blah. But if this flops, they're gonna be, oh, Sarah Bond Jr. Oh my God, why did we do this? So it's gonna be interesting to see where this, what is it, Helix? What is it?
Project Helix.
Project Helix. It's gonna be, I want to see what they do with it. I'm just very interested in the specs.
Yeah.
Like, what are these specs gonna be? Like, is it gonna be competitive? Is it going to be just, hey, you don't have enough money for a PC? Come get an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's definitely an interesting part of the market that they're seemingly trying to fill along with Valve. You know, you mentioned the Steam machine and you know how that could potentially fit into the market is definitely going to be interesting. You know, because if I remember correctly, I think there's two different models of the Steam machine that you can purchase or pre-order with. I think different like hard drive space, RAM, and I would be surprised to see Xbox take that. I would hope that that's the route they would take over doing another set of another family of consoles because as much as I'm sure a lot of people love the Xbox Series S. I really think that was another big point of contention with Xbox and their third party support because it took them forever to even get something like Baldur's Gate 3 onto their console, and that's a huge title get. You think about how these companies are successful in a console generation. It's not just first party support; they need that third party support as well. And I feel like that Series S kind of held the Series X back, even though it was the more powerful console, versus the PS5. Even though I think the PS5 is a little bit more efficient, but that I think they didn't do themselves any favors with that this generation. And I almost get the feeling that, or at least I hope that, I know some people are, another topic of discussion with Xbox is if they're going back to exclusivity or not. I'm just gonna say this much, man. I think they have to do some form of it if you want people to truly care about the console that you're putting in front of people, right? Because you're only doing Steam a favor at that point. Because let's say this thing can play Steam, or you can have Steam on it, which I'm sure you will. How is that gonna work as far as profit splits? Because typically, I think it's like close to 30% to release a game on console nowadays. But if I buy the game through Steam instead of the Xbox, how is Steam and Xbox gonna work that out? It's such a interesting device, and I'm glad that they're at least taking a risk because I feel like the last two generations have been really safe, man. My favorite thing from this past generation, of course, is the haptic controller from the PS5. But outside of that, I felt like things were just kind of the same.
Man, they're just sitting on their exclusives.
Yeah.
If we want to have an honest conversation, they're just sitting on their exclusives. Their exclusives is carrying their system.
Yeah, and I
it's
mean,
almost
even
like if it's
all
not
three of
broke,
them
don't
have
fix it.
been. Yeah, like all
Yeah, if it
three.
ain't broke, don't fix it. But Darius, is that because every time we try to try something new,
Mhm.
or we get a high guard situation to where we try something new and then you know it doesn't really succeed, and then you have people kind of scared to
Yeah, I
explore
agree.
different
I think so.
options?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because
100%.
you don't want to waste your money. Like high guard, they spent so much money and time on this game that lasted a month. Like, you know how devastating that is for a studio?
Yeah.
How much of a ripple effect that causes through the industry? Because I guarantee you, somebody was sitting at a desk with a great idea and they saw what happened to High Guard and they was like, oh hell no. Or try pitching a new idea. Like you're pitching a new idea to
Yeah.
your investors or your publisher or whoever. You're pitching your dev and you're pitching these ideas. You're like, oh, I got this, and that. And then they looking at what happened to High Guard and they like, well, why don't you just do something like Fortnite? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you just do something like this?
Give me another Call of Duty clone. Give me a, you
Mhm.
know, Grand Theft Auto clone or whatever. Just like you said, Roblox. Like,
We need to make money.
and I mean, like I said, you can see the same cautiousness across all three console makers in some regards. I mean, the Switch 2 was the first real sequel to a console that Nintendo's ever done, outside of like Super Nintendo, of course, like but they'll typically do something completely different from the previous generation, and they just released a more powerful Switch. after almost 8 or 9 years, of having the Switch 1 out,
And
it's
see,
I just think it's funny that the console, just like you said, people see the failures or they see the studio closures. You already have less investors in the space right now willing to take
mhm.
chances on projects. Only honestly, I think only companies like Microsoft are willing to take these type of bets. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it
because
plans
they
out.
got
So
money to waste. Microsoft should be coming up with so many exclusive flops. I don't even care if they flop.
yeah,
Like y'all got money to pretty much explore. It's like the rich kids. It's like the Willows and the Jadens. Like if you was that weird in high school and you was just regular, you would have got beat up. But like since you're rich and famous, you can explore with I
yeah,
mean, you can explore different types of avenues in life and not really be questioned. That's how I look at Microsoft. Like, y'all got a lot of money, man. Start taking some risk with your exclusive. Start like I know it's easy for me to say because companies gonna be like, we don't want to lose any money at all. But what if you hit pay dirt? What if you drop something that's fire as shit?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
and I
hope
just
that's the
wanna
direction they're moving in, man. It seems like, of course, like we always say, you have to show rather than tell. But recent actions that they've taken, statements that they've made, has me at least paying attention. I'll say that I'm paying attention to Xbox again, which I haven't really for a long time.
hey
you
man,
know,
listen. And I know we're running out of time, but I kind of just want to touch on what Weenie said about High Guard.
yeah,
We talked about High Guard and what it I felt like it needed, and what you felt like it needed to, you know, just improve on the game.
yeah, yeah,
I love the fact that they took risk. I love the fact that it was different, but I felt like, we ain't got to talk over this again. Go back a couple episodes. You look at the thumbnail with High Guard on it. That's when we talked about it. It just needed some work. And I'm
yeah.
mad that it didn't get any TLC. Like it was just kind of like Tencent pulled out and everybody just like, fuck it. We
It wasn't.
flopped.
It wasn't given a fair shake, man, and that's another unfortunate part of where games have gone over the last decade or so. Games aren't allowed a slow start. It's very rare that something will come out.
But can we say that was the
You
quickest?
know,
I've never seen
I mean,
like
between
they
that and
just was like,
Concord, it was. I put it up there, honestly, up there with Cyberpunk in terms of just like how negative the public sentiment got. People almost immediately kind of were out on the game,
no,
and
before
then
this game even came
you know
out, they shitted on this game from the first viewing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think the Shadow Drop was the best idea, man. I feel like games like this deserve a rollout plan, and that way, I mean, hell, put it in early access, man. That's what people do nowadays anyway, right? Give people
Mhm.
access to it as soon as possible, but market it in a way that people don't forget about it. And then if you're able to pull off quick turnarounds on community feedback, that's how games kind of stick around. And I'll say this much, about Marathon. I don't think it's for me. I tried it out. We tried it out last weekend, but they're at least receptive, as Bungie has always kind of been this with their main games. That they'll be quick to fix an issue within a game. To try to keep the community happy and engaged. Because let's just face it. I know a lot of people aren't going to hear this. They're going to like to hear this. Destiny's not their main game anymore. It's Marathon right now. So I can
Yep.
almost certainly guarantee you most of the studios working on Marathon than Destiny. That's why they pushed the latest DLC back or update for Destiny. Um, but yeah, we're I I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we really are. Seems like we're about to put a bow on this generation, and I just kind of feel mixed about that. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm very curious to see Xbox is doing something next week at GDC about the future, excuse me, of
Yeah, we're supposed to hear
the
more
console
about
stuff.
Helix.
Yeah,
Helix.
Helix on March 11th. I don't know if it's gonna be live streamed. I'll let you guys know. I'm actually curious
She's
myself. So
pushing. I'll say that.
yeah,
She's going balls in. Like she ain't,
like we
you
said,
know,
she's a person who has a track record of success, and allegedly Satya has given her a blank check to quote unquote fix Xbox. So maybe they'll get hyper aggressive like they were in the original Xbox generation and the 360 generation. That'll make
man,
things
look,
more fun, I would
man,
say.
take your ass over to HBO, hire some writers, get in there, give us some good games,
Yeah,
give us some good single player games, Give us one banging ass multiplayer game. Call it a day. I say 3 games. I've been saying this shit for the
Three games a
longest.
year, I think, is a good cadence. Like three
Yeah,
first
give me
party. Yeah,
3.
sure.
Give us two. Give 2 single player and a banging ass multiplayer that you can, what y'all want to do so bad, monetize off of, and call it a day, man. They got. What's pissing me off is Microsoft has the money. Get a good team,
They have the
man. Microsoft
structure too.
Studios.
They
Yeah,
truly
Microsoft
do.
Studios. What are we doing with Microsoft Studios? Get in there, man.
Yeah.
What are we
No
doing?
more studios like the Initiative, please. Don't give us any more of
Oh
those.
God. And we need the reason why they gave up after the 5v5 is because all their money was pulled.
It was too late at
And
that point. Yeah.
people wasn't working for free because they added the 5v5. They started changing like little small things, and then it's like once you ain't got no money, people was like, up. That's
Yeah.
when they announced
And
that we're
they
pretty much
and
done.
they lost their population pretty fast and weren't able to recover it. You know, it's pretty much GG's at that point. They were probably spending more money running the game than
Yeah, you got to
you
think of
know.
server cost and
Yeah, which is unfortunate, man. Hopefully those devs bounce back or find their way back into the industry. Like I said, man, a lot of people are leaving and not coming back, man. It's a great time for games, but it's also real treacherous. Like I said, as we slowly transition out of this generation, you know, I'm gonna predict before we get out of here too that we'll get a tease of what it looks like by the end of the year. I don't think they'll show it. If they show it during the summer showcase, I'll be thoroughly impressed. But I'm not expecting them to. That will let me know they're serious.
I will say
Personally.
this. I like the balls on this woman. All right. I like the fact that she seems to be about her shit. Like
Yeah.
she don't seem like she's fucking playing around. She's like, I'm not gonna have this a blemish on my resume,
Right.
because apparently she's been known to do this. She's been known to carry,
Yeah.
you know,
She's
wherever she's been,
She a
her track
winner.
record has been good.
She's a
So
winner,
I like
Chad.
that. Like I'm here to I will properly judge her. I will fairly judge
Of
her.
course.
And right
Yeah.
now, it's too early to really judge, but I am loving the aggression. Like even just jumping on Twitter. She replies on her Twitter. You know, she replies to trolls and she don't give a shit. Like she's out there. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope the best for her too. I hope the best for Xbox. Like, beloved. I want to come back into the fold. I'm still standing over in the corner. We got a
Yeah,
divorce. In a while.
like I said, man, they definitely at least have me paying attention again. You know,
And that
it's
says a lot because Darius don't pay attention to nothing.
I
mean,
don't.
yeah.
I don't.
He don't.
It's been a while since Xbox has piqued my interest. Like I'm excited for the games that are coming out, of course, but them as a business, they just kind of been in the gutter, man. And I hope that they pull themselves out because we don't just want PlayStation and Nintendo running the console scene. I promise you guys, y'all don't want that. Yeah, I don't want that. And
Y'all want that plumber's crack?
yeah, and Xbox
Y'all want to keep
definitely.
seeing that crack?
Yeah, so Xbox isn't going anywhere. We're definitely gonna keep our eyes and ears to the ground because every time I say, oh man, maybe we'll have something else to talk about next week, like something crazy happens. So I'm sure there'll probably be another big news
Oh,
story.
it's gonna be, man. This year, we may be stuck on Xbox and PlayStation news all this year.
Yeah.
I just feel like
that's
it's going to
fine.
be a lot to talk about when it comes to these companies, bro.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
we
fine.
are
So,
also thinking about doing a deep dive on Crimson Desert.
yeah, I gotta play the game first before I say we will.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'll actually hate the game, but it looks good. So I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, that'll probably be that we'll probably end up doing that. Honestly, I don't imagine it's gonna be a bad game, and a lot of the reviews and previews I've seen look good. So that comes out March 19th. You guys are curious about Crimson Desert? There's a couple of showcases, and they did a tech test with Digital Foundry, which was really, really, really good. So yeah, it's gonna be a good year for games, man. Thank y'all for hanging out for episode 263. As we are, marching our way through March. First podcast, second podcast of March. Sorry. No, this is the first podcast of March, right? The 7th. I think so.
Yeah, this is the first.
Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, it is. It's the first podcast of March, man. Happy to be here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Like I said, we have some surprises coming up this month, man. Still trying to get our ducks in a row on a few things. We can't wait to show y'all. I'm very excited. You know, I'm feeling the pull of actually making content again and having fun with it, which is
Ting-a-ling-a-ling.
yeah, so it's fun. So that's it. That's all I got, man. Thank y'all for hanging out. You can find me everywhere, twitch.tv/Darius the Artist. DC, you got the floor.
Hey, ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring, booyaka booyaka. I was gonna get it in. You know I was gonna get it in once in the episode.
I'm gonna let you have
Leave
it,
me
man,
alone.
since we had a great episode. You got it.
Yeah, we did. It's your boy DC, the cosmic hot pocket smuggler, aka the Neapolitan hobgoblin. And I'm here to take this thing on out. Want to give a shout out to our lovely audience. That's what y'all are now. Y'all like our audience when, doing the talk shows and then like clapping. Yay. You guys are my audience.
Yeah.
Right. We got to get some claps. We got to get some claps on the sound bar or something. But yes, we want to definitely always show love to our beautiful audience who could be anywhere on the face of planet Earth, but they're here with us. Not going to go through all the names, but we appreciate you guys. And we also want to promote the Discord. Get on over there, give us a holler. We just did the 2 new ones. What was the new one? The healthy and the self promo. You got anything you want to get off the chest? Anything you're selling that's legal, or any show or anything on YouTube, whatever you're promoting that's appropriate, listen to me, because I know you little misfits, appropriate promotion, okay? You could put it in our promo box, and what we're trying to do is build a community of people who help and build each other up. That's what we want to do in this Discord, and we're always discussing video games and a little bit of everything over there. So please join the Discord. And one last thing before I go. In 3 days, March 10th, I have a sister, and her birthday is on March 10th. And I just want to give her a big shout out.
Awesome. Hey, man. Hey, happy birthday.
I really don't like her like that, but I said it's going to be nice today.
He loves her, man.
I don't like my sister. I love her, but I don't like her. She gets on my nerves.
Don't believe that, chat.
And yeah, she's my sister's a loser. No, I'm joking.
Big brother DC loves his sister.
My sister's cool. I'm lying. She's cooler than a cucumber. She's supposed to be moving down here. I hope that works out, because I would love to see those guys.
You miss his sister. Look at this guy, man.
See, if you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna go back to being.
Come on, family's important.
I
hate
her. I hate you.
All right,
sorry. I'm back. But no. It's gonna be 3 days. I really hope she enjoys her birthday. Have a good one, man. Have a good one from your big brother, and then I'm gonna punch you, because that's what big brothers do. But anyway, we are out, guys. That's all I have. You guys have a blessed, beautiful, and highly favored Saturday.
Yes, indeed. Thank you guys for listening to the audio version. If you guys are chatting around, we're gonna play some video games, and we will see you next time. Peace. I had a hiccup.